What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman of Earth -32, the Dawnbreaker. And so here we have the Dawnbreaker posing out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. The Dawnbreaker does come with two accessories. We do get his bat construct, which does fit around his right arm really nicely. And then we also do get a McFarlane flight stand, which does look really nice with this figure. Other than that, the Dawnbreaker doesn't come with anything else. I think a few more constructs would have been nice, especially if they attached to the flight stand and it was all behind him, like all gruesome looking. But anyway, I digress. Let's actually move on to his details. And so here we have a closer look at the Dawnbreaker, and Dawnbreaker is one of my favorite of the Dark Knights. If I had to choose a favorite out of the 7, I would have to say that Dawnbreaker is within the top 3, and no excuse other than he's a Green Lantern, and I absolutely love Green Lantern. But anyway, moving on to the figure. I think McFarlane captured the look of Dawnbreaker really nicely. You can see his face is all scarred up right here. He is wearing some goggles that came with the uniform. Really do love how menacing he looks. He doesn't look like a normal human being, and that's something I do like about him. Really, really good sculpt. I do like how pale he is. He doesn't have a really fleshed out complexion. He's just really broken. And I really love the story of the Dawnbreaker. If you haven't read Dawnbreaker, I really recommend you read the origins of him, because he has a really good story. Really do like these tubes that connect onto his ears that go to the back, and they do connect to his suit. Now yes, they do hinder articulation, and we'll get onto that when we actually get there, but just looking at it, they did a really good job detailing all those tubers. Really do like it, and I love the green that they chose to go with. It's a really nice deep green, and that's something that a lot of companies don't do. Every time they make a green, there's a lot of blue involved in the green. This one has a really nice balance of blue and yellows to bring out this really nice green. I know it sounds weird, but if you're taking any art classes, you'll know what I mean. Let's actually have a look at his neck, because his neck is full of detail. All these tubes that connect into his chest. You can see he really does look like a battered and broken human being. And that's essentially the story of the Dawnbreaker. He essentially is a battered and broken human being. Well, I wouldn't say he's battered and broken, but he really did give up his humanity, basically. Just look at all this detail on his armor right here. His armor bits are done really nicely, and you can see just how mechanical they look. You see some more tubes right here throughout his costume. That's a really nice little effect. Really love this Green Lantern insignia hybrid. And it does appear that this Green Lantern emblem is a separate piece that's plugged into the torso, and that's a really nice effect. It has this really nice neon effect to it. So I love that. In the light, it just catches it really nicely. Sorry if I blinded you with that, but it's such a nice little note that I do have to point that out. Now, looking at the rest of his costume, they did a fantastic job with the detailing here. You can see some panel lining as well as some alternate texturing right here, which does carry over to the back, onto his elbows right here. There's a little bit of scuffing on mine right there. Going all the way down to his gauntlets, which unfortunately he doesn't carry over the bat spikes on the gauntlets. That's something I think the one thing in his design I would change is add the spikes to the gauntlets, but really love the fact that you can tell the armor from the costume green. The costume green is a lot darker and doesn't have as much of a saturation on it. Now, something I wish they did was paint the ring. Now, it does have some detail, and you can't tell it is a Green Lantern ring, but if they had painted it this color, the color of his gauntlets, I think that would make the ring stand out much better. Because as it stands out, it's really hard to make out. It is there, but you really can't tell that it is there. Same detail on the left arm, except he is missing the ring there. Looking at the rest of his costume, you can see some more texture and contrast right here. We have those rivets, and it's smooth right here. On the back, it's just smooth, and the rivets are right here in the middle. Then we have his armor right here, which is paneled. Really do like those lines. Then we go on to his belt, where you can see more of these tubes just coming in and out of his costume. That does look really nice, and we have a little control panel right there. They did a really good job with that neon green belt buckle. Then going on to his pants, tights, whatever you want to call them, we have some panel lining right here on the side, which does look good. We have that same contrast of texture right here in the legs. We have more panel lining right here on his backside, more panel lining down his legs. So overall, he has a lot of nice detail with contrasting textures, which actually work in the figure's favor because how different the blacks look despite the fact they're the same shade of black. Taking a look at his boots, I think he's had the greatest transition from costume to boot from any of the Dark Knights we've had a look at. You can see they did a fantastic job with this metallic green color, and it's just beautiful the way the light catches it. Just looking at all these detailing, he has panel lining all throughout the boot, as you can see. Really does look good. The shine is 100% perfect in my opinion. The green they went with is perfect for Green Lantern. I hope the next Green Lantern figure they make uses this shade of green, because this is the perfect Green Lantern shade in my opinion. Going on to his boots, we have some texturing right here on his boots, but just like with some of the other figures, no detailing on the undersides of his boot, which is a little bit unfortunate because McFarlane has detailed the soles of the feet, so I don't know why they didn't do it here. So overall, the Dawnbreaker has a really nice look to him, and I am really glad I added him to the collection. So with that being said, guys, let's actually get him compared to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Dawnbreaker posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Dawnbreaker posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. And finally, here we have Dawnbreaker posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually move on to his articulation. Now, Dawnbreaker does support the same articulation we've seen on all the previous figures. However, he does have a limited head, and we'll go over that right now. His head only looks up to about there, so he really can't look up. You really can't get him into good flight poses because his head only looks straight. He does look down a surprising bit, so that is good. He does have some head tilt, so he does pivot side to side really well. Goes all the way around. And then, of course, he does turn at the head. However, that's as far as his head will turn, and that's about how far left it turns, only because these tubes connecting his head are connecting from the head into the torso. Now, I think they should have done it so that these tubes right here weren't actually attached, so you could actually move his head freely. But then I don't know how they would have done that, or if it would have made more plastic use. I don't know. But that's all the articulation we do have in his head. Now his shoulders, we do have a ball socket going into the torso, so that does move back and forth. However, we really don't get too much play out of that. It goes that far forward, that far back, and because it is a ball joint, it does drop down, and you can move it up. His arms do go out to the side fairly well, despite the fact his armor comes over. Now, his armor is a softer piece of material, so you can move his arm up, but it's not soft enough that it gets out of the way, so his arm will always go up at an angle, so do be aware of that. He does have a nice bicep swivel, which works fine. Double bend at the elbow, kind of stiff, but it does work. Then we have a ball hinge here at the wrist, so we do have some up and down movement. We can move that and have in and out movement, and then of course swivel on that peg. And then of course we do have McFarlane's trademark ab joint, and but what I mean by trademark ab joint is he doesn't get, actually he gets further forward than I thought. I really haven't tried pushing the limits of this figure's articulation yet, so let's actually do it. He gets really nice bend. I mean almost perfect matrix bend right here. He's almost at a full 90 degrees just on his abdomen and lower abdomen crunch. We do have some side to side, swivels left and right. Bottom joint does turn left and right, but because the way he's sculpted, if I can get an aerial view, well, under view, he's really boxy right here at the hips, especially right at the waist, so it's almost like an oval. It's not a circle, so most of your rotation will be coming from the top, not so much from the waist portion right here. As you can see, it really wants to fight you, but Forward, we get absolutely no forward movement on that, but we get Matrix style backwards movement. I don't understand that at all. It should be the other way around, especially for most characters. His legs do kick forward to about almost 90 degrees, 90 degrees if you force it. They do kick back really nicely. And as far as splits goes, yeah, he does the full-on split, so I do like that. Do we have, yes, we do have a thigh swivel here with the Dawnbreaker, and you can see it is rotating. It's not one of those pseudo thigh swivels. It actually is rotating on that joint as it should, so really do like that. We do have a double bend here at the knee, going all the way up to there, which is pretty decent range. Actually, that's great range. What am I saying? We do have a swivel here at the ball joint. We have a hinge that goes back and forward. Forward-facing pin for rocker, and because it is on a ball hinge, you can rotate that and have perfect rocker ankle. And then finally, we do have a very generous toe hinge. So overall, Dawnbreaker has pretty good articulation and some of the best we've seen from the Dark Knights. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Batman of Earth Negative 32, aka the Dawnbreaker pose for my final thoughts. And overall, McFarlane has captured the look of this figure perfectly. His proportions are a little bit weird, but that is exactly how he was drawn on the cover of the Dawnbreaker, which is what they were going with. And I absolutely love the way he looks. I think the greens that they went with for his armor work perfectly. The greens they went with for his outfit and the tubes also spot on. And he's not full on black. He's like a really, really dark gray, which I do appreciate that. If he was completely black, I don't think it would have changed much. But having him a really dark gray does bring out the green just a little bit more. And that contrast looks really nice. If you don't believe me, just look at how nice he looks with those contrasting colors. So Dawnbreaker here doesn't come with too much. We do get a really nice flight stand, which he can be on, which does help him with his levitation, which that's pretty much how he was seen. I really do wish that it came with more constructs, especially something to attach to his back, because the cover of Dawnbreaker, there's like tentacles and bats flying all over. I do like the fact we got that one construct, but I would have liked to see more. And I would like to really state that that ring should be a different shade of green. It should not be molded plastic. It needs to be a different color green. If they had used that metallic green on the ring, I think I'd enjoy the ring just a little bit better. But for now, that's the way it is, and I can't do anything about it as of this point. I might go back and repaint it myself, but we'll see. Dawnbreaker here originally was a Walmart exclusive, so if you were looking for this figure, you did have to pre-order him from Walmart or find him in stores. Now, Walmart took forever on the pre-orders. They got delayed one again, and then got delayed about 500 other times, which I'm thankful I didn't cancel mine because they finally came in. Ever since then, he has become available at other retail, so you can find him at Walmart, Target, online retail like Amazon, Big Bad Toy Store, and Entertainment Earth, so you can get your hands on this vengeful protector of Space Sector 2814, which I think you're going to need him if you're a fan of the Dark Knights Metal series, or you just want a really awesome looking figure in your collection. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other McFarlane Multiverse videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you'd like to see me review, let me know down in the comments. And if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos. And as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.